You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
We've made it to midweek.
Woo, look at us.
You know, if it wasn't for that haze and smoke in the air, it'd be a really nice summer day today.
Has it been bugging you still?
It is a little bit. How about you?
It gets you in the throat, the eyes,
Yeah, I'm using a lot of the eye drops today. Our meteorologist, Blaze Keller, is out on the weather patio. Otherwise, a nice day, Blaze. Nice to see the sun, nice and warm today.
Yeah, otherwise, you know, you said it perfectly, Susan. Other than the haze, it's a very beautiful day outside. Plenty of sunshine now, but again, if you look at the sky, it does look blue, but there's just that little shade of gray because we still have a lot of that smoke from wildfires up in Canada overhead. And that's the reason why the air quality warning has been extended through noon on Thursday. Currently, the air quality across central and southern Wisconsin, yellow or orange. So moderate to unhealthy for some there in the orange, and that stretches from the Lake Michigan shoreline all the way into parts of Iowa. There's a look at our current smoke throughout the entirety of the atmosphere, not just at the surface, and we're seeing that thick plume of smoke beginning to cut its way across central, and eventually we'll move into more of south central and southeastern parts of Wisconsin as we go further into this evening, overnight into Thursday. That's the reason why the air quality alert has been extended. Now, if we look back, thanks to the EPA and the Wisconsin State Climatology Office, if we look back at some of our more unhealthy air quality days since 1999, this is actually our second worst. Back in 2023, I think all of us remember we had those very smoky days. That was our worst air quality day back on June 27, 2023, when our air quality rating was nearly at hazardous, which is at 300. We were at 268 today. It was at 171. The good news is this smoke is moving on out of here. We'll take a look at what we can expect tomorrow in terms of air quality, smoke coverage, as well as if there's any more rain in the forecast. That's in a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. First at 4, a woman is facing charges this afternoon for allegedly stabbing a man overnight. Just after 11 o'clock Tuesday, Madison police responded to Atticus Way near Dunn's Marsh. They arrived and found a man with a stab wound to his chest. First responders took him to the hospital. He is expected to survive. Officers arrested a woman who they took to jail.
A deportation hearing will take place next week for an undocumented man who investigators say was framed for threatening the president. A judge pushed back the hearing of Ramon Morales Reyes today. ICE arrested him last month after receiving a letter signed with his name threatening to kill President Trump. And now investigators believe Demetric Scott of Milwaukee framed Morales Reyes. Scott allegedly admitted to doing so to get the undocumented man deported before a trial in which he is the suspect and Morales Reyes is the victim.
The Better Business Bureau sent out a memo this morning alerting everybody about a new scam.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us with how this new scam involves tariffs.
Scams and scammers are ever evolving, and this time they're using tariffs as a way to swindle people out of their money. The Better Business Bureau reporting Wednesday morning that scammers are re-upping their common online shopping scams, this time using tariffs as the vehicle to do so. If you were to accidentally purchase an item from a fake website, BBB says scammers are now telling people tariffs are the reason an item is in limbo, as well as asking people for additional payments post the initial purchase to make up for the added cost from the tariff.
Scammers follow the news. Tariffs have been in the news recently since the new administration picked up. So this is a very recent scam for us to be sending out to consumers in the marketplace to be aware of.
We'll have more on what to look out for from this scam tonight at 5. For now, reporting in the newsroom, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. If you or someone you know has been affected by this scam or any other, you can report it to the bbb.com/scam tracker.
A CDC official who oversaw COVID vaccine recommendations is stepping down. Dr. Lakshmi Panagiotakopoulos is leaving the CDC following an order by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to force an update on the agency's guidance. Under that guidance, the U.S. no longer recommends the COVID vaccine for healthy children and pregnant women. In an email to the COVID vaccines work group within the agency, the former official wrote, quote, "My career in public health and vaccinology started with a deep-seated desire to help the most vulnerable members of our population, and that is not something I am able to continue to do in this role."
People living in rural areas disproportionately experience poor health and trouble getting access to medical care. UW's medical school is launching a program to change that. Today, UW leaders announced the Orion Initiative. The program seeks to build partnerships between doctors and rural providers. The program's initial goals include primary care physician recruitment, pediatric EMS training, and subspecialty training.
We fully anticipate that these programs will save lives within the first months of operation.
Next year, the program will provide 4 full tuition scholarships to students entering the Wisconsin Academy for Rural Medicine program, which trains students committed to improving health for rural communities.
Well, it's hard to believe, but we are exactly a month away from our nation's birthday. 4th of July is almost here, and that means fireworks sales are beginning to heat up.
Yeah, this is right after tariffs on China exploded many markets in the U.S. Arman Rahman shows us how the fireworks industry in Wisconsin is faring.
You can't have summer without fireworks, but whether they're small or big, one thing they all have in common in Wisconsin is that they're mostly made in China, which means they're subject to recent tariffs. You can buy almost anything that goes boom at Boom Boom Fireworks in Mineral Point.
Black Cat, we have Sky Bacon, Boomer, Dominator.
Consumer fireworks already had a 5% tariff. President Trump's trade war with China pushed it to 20% in March, then as high as 145% in April. Now they've come down to roughly 30%. Owner Megan Scott says her store made it through relatively unscathed.
We ordered all our products prior to that taking effect, and so it didn't hit our charging amount. And we're hoping once it settles down, we won't have to order again until it all settles down. They come in and they ask the same questions. What do you get? What? Any price changing? Any? Like, nope, still the same, still the same.
According to the president of the Wisconsin Fireworks Association, the whole industry is concerned about demand for America's 250th birthday next year. So if you want a big show then, buy now. But for wholesale distributors of fireworks, the fuse might be a bit shorter because of the tariffs. I'll have more on that tonight at 6. For now, reporting in Mineral Point, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
We will see you at 6, Armand. Thank you. Later today, Dane County Executive Melissa Agard will host a listening session on the county's budget deficit. Last month, county officials admitted they are facing a projected $31 million deficit next year. Agard has asked departments to submit budgets with a 4% reduction and refrain from requesting new staff or major projects. You can give your thoughts about how county leaders should address this problem at the Alliant Energy Center starting at 5:30. Our Ellie LaLiberte will be at that session tonight, and she'll bring us coverage later in our newscast. You can watch her reports right here on News 3 Now or with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
The American Family Insurance Championship will bring top PGA golf champions to Madison this weekend. The tournament will be held at TPC, Wisconsin, on the city's north side for the first time this year. And hosting 10,000 spectators for each day of the 3-day tournament, organizers say Madison can expect an economic boost across town.
When they book those room nights, they're not just staying in the hotels, but they're eating at the restaurants, they're shopping on State Street. They're providing a ton of economic strength for our community.
From its inception in 2016 to 2024, the AmFam Championship has brought more than $100 million to the local economy. The championship tournament, hosted by Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, starts Friday morning. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, you can watch our full story previewing the event and its impact on our community.
Well, we want to give everybody a reminder. It's Wednesday, and that means coming up a little later in the show, we're going to be taking your plant and gardening questions. Lisa Briggs will join us live from the Bruce Company to answer your questions. You can email us right now at tips@channel3000.com.
Yeah, we have some good stuff today. Well, next on Live at 4, a nonpartisan office in D.C. released new estimates on the cost of the president's big, beautiful bill.
How much will it add to the deficit? We'll have that when we come back.
Russia will retaliate after Ukraine's weekend drone attack. President Donald Trump says Vladimir Putin revealed that while on a call the two had today. The revelation comes amid News Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth skipped a meeting for coordinating Ukraine's military aid. It's the first time a U.S. Defense Secretary has not attended the meeting since the war broke out. A spokesperson for the secretary says Hegseth was unable to attend due to logistical difficulties. The U.S. ambassador to NATO took his place.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the president's big bill will add $2.4 trillion to the U.S. deficit in the next 10 years. The CBO also estimates the bill, which the House narrowly passed last month, will cut taxes by $3.75 trillion and leave nearly 11 million people without health insurance. Wisconsin's Department of Health Services estimates about 52,000 people could lose their health coverage in our state.
The analysis comes as the president pressures Congress to pass the bill by July 4th. He is meeting with Senate Republicans today who have raised concerns about the increase to the deficit.
The controversial U.S. and Israel-backed humanitarian aid operation in Gaza is not distributing food today. For 3 days straight, health officials in Gaza have reported the Israeli military shooting at people as they went to receive aid. Israel denies those claims and said it shot at suspects who deviated from the predetermined aid path. The operation, called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, says it paused its work to improve efficiency and will resume distribution tomorrow.
Police say they have a man in custody for last month's car bombing outside of a California fertility clinic. The bombing's primary suspect, 25-year-old Guy Bartkus, died at the scene near the detonated vehicle. Another suspect law enforcement officials believe helped him, 32-year-old Daniel Park, was arrested at JFK Airport in New York. Authorities say he was in possession of an explosive recipe similar to the one used for the Oklahoma City bombing. He's been extradited to California, where he faces charges.
Right now, more than 7 million Americans ages 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease. But the brain changes that cause the disease start decades before symptoms begin. Even though there is no cure yet, doctors say there are some things you can do to help yourself.
Early detection can really help ensure a loved one receives the best care, support, and access to treatment.
Symptoms to look out for include memory loss that disrupts your daily life, challenges planning or solving problems, difficulty completing tasks, and confusion with your time or place. You can find a full list of the early Alzheimer's symptoms online at 10signs.org.
Well, here's some news a lot of us would like to hear. Your morning cup of coffee could boost your brain health. A Harvard study found women who drank coffee regularly in midlife were more likely to have signs of healthy aging, including having no cognitive or memory issues and being free of major chronic diseases. The study found women who drank decaf coffee or tea did not get the same health benefits.
Best news I've heard all day.
Yeah.
Maybe this afternoon an iced coffee.
Oh, for sure.
If you're going outside. It's not very hot, Blaze, but it feels sticky this afternoon.
It does. We have kind of a stagnant air mass overhead. We're not seeing a lot of windy conditions to move around the smoke or move around the air that's been sitting just overhead. So that's the reason why it does feel a little bit sticky out there, as temperatures tomorrow will climb into the 70s and the low 80s. We're starting to get rid of the smoke that has been sitting overhead. So our air quality outlook for tomorrow is going to be a little bit better, into more of that moderate threshold in the yellow for folks further into parts of Wisconsin. Closer to Lake Michigan, some of that smoke is still going to be trapped a little bit, so that may be unhealthy for some. And then off towards the Mississippi River, where we actually don't have any shading at all, that's where the air quality is expected to be good, as this plume of thick smoke finally pushes its way south and eastward out of central parts of Wisconsin, further into southeastern Wisconsin as we go into those early morning hours on Thursday. Again, this is looking at smoke in the entirety of the atmosphere, not just at the lowest levels nearest to us. And this smoke will eventually thin on out. It will become more scattered across the atmosphere. So that's the reason why our air quality will be a little bit better as we go into Thursday. That smoke gets pushed back into parts of western Wisconsin as we go into your Friday, because winds are going to be off of Lake Michigan. Eventually they turn out of the south, and we continue to push more of that smoke back into parts of Canada. Tonight's going to be mostly clear to partly sunny, but still hazy, as I just mentioned. Thursday, throughout the day, clouds are going to be increasing as our latest round of high pressure moves on out of here. So we're going to make room for more of that cloud cover, but we'll hold off on the rain chances until overnight Thursday into early Friday. A few scattered showers during the morning commute can't be ruled out, but the better chance for rain, especially into the second half of the day, is going to arrive on Saturday. Scattered showers, a few thunderstorms can't be ruled out either. And we'll keep that rain chance into Sunday as well. Again, you can track out any of those showers and thunderstorms throughout the weekend by using our First Warn Weather app. And if you're not a fan of the rain, it does taper off or ends as we go into Monday. We get a bit of a break as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, further into Thursday, and maybe even Friday of our following work week. But take a look at those temperatures. We should be in those low 80s, but we're going to be fairly mild for this time of year. Low 70s on Saturday, then again that following Monday and Tuesday, maybe feeling like where we should be for this time of year. Thursday and Friday of next week, but a pretty comfortable forecast, if you will. No extremely humid days out there, but those scattered showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Just make sure you take the umbrella, especially Saturday afternoon into Sunday as well.
All right, thank you, Blaze. Well, coming up on Live at 4, we're highlighting a local event this weekend in Madison.
What to expect at the Mad Gluten-Free Fest when Live at 4 continues. Well, this weekend, the Mad Gluten-Free Fest returns to town.
Yeah, this Sunday at Breeze Stevens Field, you can find a festival with foods and drinks entirely dedicated to living a gluten-free lifestyle. And joining us now with what we can expect, the event's organizer, Melissa Bennett, and Jones Dairy Farm Director of Marketing, Lisa Karras. Thank you both for being on.
Hi, ladies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
This sounds like a good time, and I wanted to know, Melissa, how did this start, and did it come from a personal place?
Right. It did, yes. Around 13 years ago or so, I noticed I was having health issues, discovered that gluten was the problem, took that out of my diet, and was amazingly different.
Really?
My life really changed. So, cut forward to 2023, I started a gluten-free baking business. And in this business, I found it difficult to connect to the consumers that really wanted the products that were gluten-free. So this festival is a way to do that, and it started out as a way to do that, but we realized it's so much more than that for the folks that come. Folks that have to eat gluten-free, they feel a restriction in their diet, and this festival is a way for them to celebrate and love life again and feel like they're free to enjoy and celebrate together.
Yeah, if you have celiac disease or other gluten intolerances, you can't go to, well, you can, but it's hard to go to restaurants and festivals and things like this. And you're doing something right because you have twice the vendors. This is your second year.
Yes, second year.
And one of the new ones is Jones Dairy Farm. Lisa, tell us a little bit about what you're doing this year.
Yes, I would love to. So Jones Dairy Farm is a local company out of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. We're 7th generation, family owned and operated, and all of Jones Dairy Farm products are certified gluten-free. So that includes our all-natural sausage, our bacon, Canadian bacon, which we'll be sampling on Sunday.
My favorite, the chicken meatballs.
Yes, our newest products are our meatballs. We make chicken and pork meatballs. All of these are available right here in Madison at most of the grocery stores here, including Costco.
Oh, that's great.
And both of you highlight an important point. I think a lot of people had preconceived notions about what gluten-free food is, or maybe they're thinking about it 10 years ago. It's come a long way.
Oh, it has. Yes, from when I started to eat gluten-free to now, you can see a world of difference. And we hope that people that eat gluten can come to the event as well and enjoy the delicious food. It's food that everyone will find enjoyment in.
Lisa, are most proteins like bacon or ham, are they naturally gluten-free, or is that something that they do specially at Jones Dairy Farm?
So meat is naturally gluten-free, but most companies don't take the extra step to get certified. So what makes Jones Dairy Farm unique is that we go that extra certification. So we have the highest standard of certification in the industry. It's fewer than 5 parts per million, and a lot of the gluten contamination is coming through the spices. And so we make all of our spices blends right in-house, which is very unique for a meat company. So it's really really making sure that our families and our consumers of Jones products can feel great and happy and safe eating our products.
Because gluten can be very sneaky, isn't it, in like soy sauce?
It's in just
Right?
about everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can people go? Do they need a ticket? And yeah.
Yeah, it's free for anyone. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you want to get in early, there is a VIP ticket available, and you can check out our Facebook page for more info on that.
And is it set up sort of like booths where you just walk around and try all the different, sample the different
Come
things?
right in, check out a booth, buy something what you like, go to the next booth, find something amazing. Yeah, spend the whole day if you'd like. You can bring a picnic blanket and enjoy your time.
That's a great, because you're there's plenty of room. Are there a lot of local vendors too?
Yes. Almost all of our vendors, all but one, are based in Wisconsin, and most of those in South Wisconsin. Yep.
So can we just show up with a toothpick and then like go around like for free samples?
There are a lot of vendors just sampling.
Oh,
yes,
good.
you will be able to sample your way through the day if that's what you would like.
Awesome.
Well, it's a great idea. It's getting bigger and better every year. Hang in there. You can do it.
Thank
we were
you.
just telling her she's like planning a wedding for 10,000 people this week.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
It sure does.
It'll be a great event. Thank you both for coming today.
Yes, thank you.
Well, still ahead on Live at 4, how Wall Street's responding to new tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Plus, how that smoke from the Canadian wildfires might affect the AmFam Championship. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Yeah, is that pollen?
Or
are they bugs?
It looks like it. It's probably bugs,
I'm
but that's how
sneezing
it
already.
feels.
Well, our weather words, that hazy smoke outside continues. You can see some of it up in the sky. Blaze is outside on our weather patio in Madison with what the outlook is. Blaze?
The smoke is going to be clearing out as we head into Thursday and then further into Friday. But yes, if you go outside this afternoon or you've been outside today, you look up, you can definitely see that lingering haze in the atmosphere. We still have that air quality alert in effect through now noon on Thursday, as our current air quality, that bird is very loud, is anywhere between moderate to unhealthy for some. We're watching as a kind of a thicker plume of smoke moves through parts of the forecast area right now, marked by those yellows and those oranges. That's the reason why, because it's moving slowly, that our air quality alert is still in effect now until noon on Thursday. So if you are sensitive to poor air quality, like we have been sitting under over these next couple of days, just keep in mind that tomorrow is going to be likely our last, I would say, day that we have to deal with air quality alerts. This is our 4th one this year so far, compared to 2 throughout the year in the entire state of Wisconsin last year, but nothing compared to the 15 that were issued back in 2023. If you remember, that is when a lot of that wildfire smoke out of Canada made its way southwards into not only the Midwest, but New England as well. So we'll see how many alerts we get this year, but so far it's 4. As I mentioned, the air quality is going to improve as we head into Thursday. Some rain chances as we head into the weekend. Details in the full forecast.
That bird just wanted to help you out, Blaze.
Well, he's annoying me because I'm trying to talk about the weather.
All right, thank you, Blaze. Well, that wildfire smoke was much more visible on the links of TPC, Wisconsin today.
Our Kyle Pazorski is catching up with some of the pros. The Pro-Am is today at the AmFam Championship to see if it's affecting their game and how the event brings together people of all skill sets.
Well, it doesn't affect the tee, it affects your lungs.
I said not to be outside, and the weather's great. I don't have any problems.
While the jury is out on any impact from the Canadian wildfire smoke, what's not up for question is that the sound of teeing off never grows old. The AmFam Pro-Am tournament beginning early Wednesday, bringing together the elder pros of the PGA Tour champions with amateurs looking to pick up a thing or two for their own game. Dave Werner, coming from West Bend, teaming up with Marquette University play-by-play announcer Homer True.
They literally just spend time getting to know you, but then helping you with some tips. So there's obviously a definite difference between my game and their game, but it's special to be able to do it.
While Werner's personal expectations are low, he and many others understand it's not about who has the lowest score, but more about enjoying the game they all love. Reporting from the AmFam Championship at TPC, Wisconsin, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. The Pro-Am continues tomorrow. However, that is not open to the public. The gates open to the public on Friday for the main event. All of the details are at amfamchampionship.com.
Well, today, U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum doubled to 50%. The increase is part of a broad range of tariffs the president has levied since taking office. The Steel Manufacturers Association praised the move, saying it will strengthen the industry at home. But sectors that heavily rely on those metals are concerned, from can manufacturers to car makers. Wall Street lost some steam in response. The Dow is down 92 points, the Nasdaq is up 62, and the S&P 500 is barely up 0.44 points.
Meanwhile, frictions between the U.S. and China continue. The president took to social media this morning to criticize Chinese leader Xi Jinping, calling him extremely difficult to make a deal with. It comes as U.S. and Chinese negotiators agreed last month to a 90-day pause in their trade war. The tensions have risen since. Both countries have accused the other of violating their agreement. White House officials say a call between the two leaders is imminent, but it's not clear when exactly it will happen.
Private sector hiring is slowing down. Payroll company ADP released its new employment report today. It found private sector firms added only 37,000 jobs in May. That's down from 60,000 in April and significantly fewer than the 130,000 economists were expecting. This marks the lowest monthly total since March 2023.
Madison police and the Department of Motor Vehicles are sending out warnings about a recent scam going around, a text scam. This is what it looks like. You may have already received this one. I certainly did. I got a couple of them this week. They're coming in from an unknown sender posing as the DMV, saying that records show you have outstanding debt. Madison police officer Anthony Vogel says an urgent ask for money like this is always a red flag.
Red flags that I noticed in that one immediately is the quick demand for money, so saying that your registration is set to expire within a couple days. That's probably the biggest one. When I copied and pasted the contents of the message just into Google and searched it, the first thing that came up was like several articles saying that this was a scam.
You should also watch out for who is sending the message. We'll tell you what to do if you receive one of these texts coming up tonight at 6. Well, in just a little while, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us here on Live at 4.
She'll be answering your plant questions. You can still submit those to us at tips@channel3000.com. Well, coming up on Live at 4, it may only be Wednesday, but we're looking ahead to what's happening in the 608 this weekend.
Josh Spreiter has 3 things for you and your family to do this weekend when we come back.
Well, it may only be Wednesday. Sorry about that, everyone. We're almost there, but we are already working for the weekend in the 608.
Always are. Josh Spreiter joins us in studio with what's going on in southern Wisconsin.
We have a busy few days ahead, so I wanted to make sure we got our weekend in the 608 planner done early this week. So here are my 3 things to do. It is tournament week at the 2025 American Family Insurance Championship, and this year it's at a new location, TPC Wisconsin, formerly known as Cherokee Country Club. AmFam Insurance, the PGA Tour champions and PGA Tour player and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker created the AmFam Insurance Championship in 2016. Since then, the championship and associated events have raised nearly $20 million for the AmFam Children's Hospital and hundreds of other charities. Happening Saturday, the Belleville Police Department is inviting families out for Cops and Bobbers. This event is where officers connect with kids in the community. They're planning a fishing contest, lunch, and just plain fishing for fun. The event is at Belleville Community Park, Shelter 1 from 10 to 1. Then on Sunday, it's our favorite day of the year. I might be a little biased, though. It is 608 Day, June 8th, of course. And once again, Hilldale is celebrating everything great about the 608 with a day-long celebration from 10 to 8. There are special happenings for families and businesses. We'll have deals running all day long. I'll be there tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning with how they're celebrating everything 608 this year. For more happenings this weekend in the 608, just go to channel3000.com. I'm Josh Spreiter for News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. And one more reminder before we get to Lisa Briggs. This is your chance to vote in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison competition.
Yeah, we're giving you some homework today. Voting is open now through the end of the month. Unlike the first round of voting, you will only be able to vote once per category. You don't have to live in Madison to participate. Voting is open to anyone in Dane County and cities in nearby counties like Columbia, Dodge, Iowa, Greene, Rock, Jefferson, and Sauk. You can go vote now at the link on your screen. Well, coming up next on Live at 4, send us your plant questions.
Yep, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is standing by. There she is. Oh, what a pretty, is that a black-eyed Susan you're holding?
I think so, yes.
Lisa will answer your questions on Live at 4 as soon as we come back.
Hey, Lisa.
A thing.
Anchors can talk to you.
Okay. Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, was that a black-eyed Susan?
Sunflower. So,
sunflower. Yeah. Why do they call it
close.
that?
It's just a sunflower. Why do they call it a sunflower?
No, a black-eyed. What's the difference between a sunflower and a black-eyed Susan?
Usually the black-eyed Susans are, well, they're from a different family, but usually a lot of the black-eyed Susans are perennial.
Oh, okay.
And here the sunflowers are annuals.
Got the black-eyed Susan, the lazy Susan. I've got a lot of issues with these things. All right, we got a couple of good questions. Do you want a little preview?
Sure.
Is it Bougainvillea?
Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea.
Okay.
Or Bougainvillea. Okay, okay.
Okay, well, someone noticed a small spider on it and wants to know if they should be worried.
Okay. All right.
And then, what's the best way to have success planting flower seeds directly into the garden?
Okay.
Someone purchased new hydrangeas. They became wilted before they went to the ground, planted them, cut off dead blossoms, wilted leaves. Will they come back?
Okay.
Transplanting a Christmas cactus from a container.
Of course, we've got to have a Christmas cactus.
It's not even Christmas cactus season yet. Okay.
Every time.
Okay.
So, yep, that's what we got.
There's more coming in, but that's the appetizer. Okay, we'll see you in just a smidge.
All right.
Here is a live look at Minneapolis. You can see some of that haze over there, too.
Yeah, definitely can. Looks warm and hazy, just like here.
Yeah, 77 degrees, mostly sunny. That air quality is just really hitting us hard. Hopefully that can scooch on out of here.
Yeah.
Well, we're taking your plant and garden questions today with Lisa Briggs.
There's still time if you want to email a question to tips@channel3000.com. There Lisa is. She's live at the Bruce Company this afternoon. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. Your background looks so beautiful. She's got the best office in town.
We should go visit you someday.
I know.
Lucky duck. All right, let's get to the questions. We have a question from Jenny, and she's asking about a bougainvillea outside of that she had in a large planter, and she noticed a spider on it. And she's wondering if she should be worried about that.
If the spider was big enough that she could see it and discern that it was a spider, it's not a problem. Spider mites are a pretty common insect pest, but they're not actually spiders, they're actually mites, and they're really small. So I wouldn't worry about it. If she saw a spider, it's just on there hanging around. They'll eat bugs in her yard, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's helpful. Well, Judy writes, what is the best way to have success when planting flower seeds directly into the garden?
So you want to make sure that the flower seeds you're choosing are, if you're starting them now, would be annuals. It's a little late to put perennial seeds in now. And on the back of the package will be some information about how long it takes them to mature. And so you want to sort of count how many days we have till frost. We're probably going to see frost in middle to late October. So most things that you're putting in now, sunflowers, zinnias, that sort of thing, you have plenty of time to go ahead and plant those.
Oh, good. It's like this is the best time.
Yeah.
So I apologize. I didn't get this person's name, but somebody emailed and asked about hydrangeas, saying they became wilted after putting them in the ground. They said they planted them and cut off the dead blossoms and the wilted leaves, and they want to know if they'll come back.
Well, there's not a ton of information, so if they put them in before we had that really cold, rainy weather, they might have just been showing a little bit of shock damage or transplant shock. Cutting off the spent flowers is always a good idea. They might have been able to leave the leaves. So what I would do is just keep them well irrigated. We had a good rain last night, so probably check them in about a week or so. Also, though, some hydrangeas like a shady spot. So if these were the hydrangeas with the big ball-shaped flowers and they have them in a full sun location, it's probably reacting to that. They should move them to a place where there's sun in the morning but shade in the afternoon.
And we have a Christmas cactus question. Janice wants to know how to go about transplanting a Christmas cactus from a container that hardly has any soil.
So with Christmas cactus, they are really long-lived and they're sort of finicky about being repotted. Although this is the time to do it, you don't want them to be in flower. You want to make sure that the pot that you put them in is maybe only an inch or two larger than the pot it's in right now. And I would use cactus soil or succulent soil. It's really well draining and that will do better than regular potting soil or certainly something coming out of your garden.
Oh, I didn't even know there was cactus soil.
I didn't either. We learned so much from you, Lisa.
There's soil for everything.
Mike wants to know, when planting gladiolas, should I do something to the, corms? Is that what it is? Ahead of time to prevent thrips?
Yep.
What are these words?
Okay, so a corm is another word for bulb. It's pretty
We knew that.
scientific,
We were
but
just
they're
testing
usually
you.
just storage organs. Yeah. Thrips are something that is going to be more on the flower. So if he makes sure that the corms are clean, he can go ahead and plant them. With gladiolas, because they bloom kind of one time, a lot of people who really love them plant them in succession. So they'll plant a new batch every week or so that you extend how long you have the flowers. Because once they're done, they're done.
You got it?
I think so, yes. I learned some new words today.
What's the difference between a corm and a thrip?
The corm is the bulb, right?
Corm,
Did I do it?
bougainvillea. Yeah, it's just another word for bulb.
All right.
Also rhizome. There are lots of words for bulbs.
We learned a lot today.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa, and thanks everybody for your questions.
You're
we'll do
welcome,
this
guys.
again very soon.
Yeah. Well, let's see how the weather looks for corm and thrip weather. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller.
Well, the smoke is clearing on out, so that is some good news for folks who want to get out into the garden but are sensitive to the obvious smoke in the air. It is moving on eastward as we go into the rest of Wednesday, overnight into Thursday. Starting Saturday and Friday, we'll introduce back the chance for a few showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms by Saturday. Tomorrow's air quality much better than today. At one point we were we were unhealthy, so in the red. Tomorrow we're looking at moderate to unhealthy for some from west to east. So if you're in the yellow, your air is going to be a little bit better than, say, folks closer to Lake Michigan. And where we don't have any shading, this is where the air quality is expected to be good as well. That thick plume of smoke is going to continue to move its way eastward as we go overnight into the morning hours on Thursday. It's going to get somewhat stuck, if you will, in southeastern Wisconsin, and as winds turn off of Lake Michigan, they're going to push it back. But notice we're not seeing as much yellows or oranges in that once thick plume of smoke. We're starting to kind of disperse it or spread it across the atmosphere. So that is some good news as we go into Friday. We're going to watch as maybe a little bit more blue is in the sky than that haze, even though we've been sitting underneath partly sunny to mostly sunny conditions. A lot more of that wildfire smoke is going to stay into parts of Canada, and a lot of that smoke that we were dealing with going into this past weekend is well off to our east as well. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any big plumes of smoke here as we go into at least the end of the work week. Beyond that, if we get a system to get some of that smoke and move its way through the Midwest, it may bring it down. But the jet stream is actually going to stay in Canada over the next week or so. So hopefully a lot more of that thicker smoke will stay to our north. Rain chances return starting Friday, but the best chance is going to be Saturday into Sunday. It looks like a scattered shower, thunderstorm type situation is going to be taking place. not anticipating any severe weather, just another dose of some much needed rain in some parts of Wisconsin, especially off towards the north and along the state line there. Clouds will be increasing as we go throughout Thursday. Our high pressure system is beginning to exit, so now we're introducing an area of low pressure, and that's when we start to get those showers as we kick off Friday. We'll dry out into the afternoon for the most part, maybe keep a scattered or isolated shower into your Friday afternoon, and then Saturday, especially in the afternoon hours further north and west, it looks like we're going to be dealing with another round of showers and thunderstorms, heavier rain marked by those darker greens there. Temperature-wise, though, over the next 7 to 10 days, because we're not really underneath the jet stream, no systems are moving on through, we're pretty much going to sit underneath this fairly seasonable air mass. Temperatures are going to be about a degree or two either way, above or below average, but no really hot days or no really cold days compared to normal. So that is some good news there. And our overnight lows for those plants continuing to grow look to stay in the 50s, while our temperatures over the next 7 or so days are in the 70s, 80s, maybe by the end of next week.
Well, get ready for a glorious strawberry moon this month.
Yeah, the final full moon of spring. Oh, that's beautiful. This is known as the strawberry moon. It will happen early on June 11th. But scientists say the best time to see it will be the night before on Tuesday, June 10th. June's strawberry moon will be the lowest full moon for the year for stargazers north of the equator. The strawberry moon is named for the wild strawberries that ripen this time of year. Something to look forward to. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, it'll be Thursday, Friday Eve, and our Josh Spreiter will look ahead to what's happening this weekend in the 608. And straight ahead tonight at 5, tips to avoid being a victim of yet another new scam. This one claims your online orders are delayed. We'll have more about that straight ahead. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.